Good morning children. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good. My name is Rajita and I am your social teacher. Okay. So children, today we are going to start a new lesson and the lesson name is lesson number 1, the Northern Mountains. Okay. Lesson number 1, the name is the Northern Mountains. Okay. So children, the northern and the northeastern part of our country is a long row of mountains. Okay, so you can see the text of the Indian map. For example, I have drawn here the northern and the northeastern part of our country is a long row of mountains. Okay, so these long row of mountains are called as mountain ranges. So what do you mean by mountain ranges? Mountain ranges means it is a long row of mountains. We can find a number of mountains there. Okay, a long row of mountains is called as mountain ranges. So the northern and the northeastern part of our country is a long row of mountains. Okay, and it is called as mountain ranges. So the highest mountain ranges is Himalaya. Okay, so Himalaya is the highest mountain range. Okay, so the long row of mountains, we have one after the other, a long row. Okay, many number of mountains are there. So a long row of mountains are called as mountain ranges, and Himalaya is the highest mountain range. Okay, Himalaya is the highest mountain range, and this Himalaya is a Sanskrit word. Okay, so the meaning of Himalaya is abode of snow. Okay, abode of snow means abode means it's home. Home of snow. So why? Because Himalaya is called abode of snow because the peaks in Himalayas, it is covered with snow throughout the year. Okay, the peaks in Himalayas are covered with snow throughout the year. So Himalaya means it is abode of snow. We call Himalaya, it is a Sanskrit word. It means abode of snow. Abode of snow means it is home of snow. So we call this because the peaks in Himalayas are almost covered with snow throughout the year. So we call it as abode of snow. Okay, and now it extends. Okay, this long row of mountains extends about for 2,500 kilometers. Okay, these long row of mountains extends from north in Kashmir, from Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh in east. Okay, so it extends. So it is about 2,500 kilometers. So it extends from Kashmir in north and up to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. So we tell it is from north and the northeastern part. Okay, so it is covered. It is a long row of snow. So it extends from Kashmir in the north to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Okay, so it extends for about 2,500 kilometers. Okay, 2,500 kilometers from Kashmir in the north to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Okay, and these form a wall between two countries. It is, so here it is China. Okay, and this is India. So these mountains, okay, so these peaks form a wall between China and India. Okay, so we have these long row of mountains here, is it? So these form a natural boundary between China and India. Okay, children, so this long row of mountains is Himalayas. The Himalayas form a natural boundary between China and India. Okay, so next 9 out of 10. Okay, so 9 out of 10 highest peaks are in these mountain ranges, are in Himalayas. Okay, so 9 out of 10 highest peaks are in Himalayan ranges. Okay, so we all know which is the highest mountain peak. It is Mount Everest. So Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak and it is in Nepal. Okay, so we can find somewhere here in Nepal. Okay, so Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak in Nepal and it's about 8,848 meters high. Okay, the height of Mount Everest is 8,848 meters. Okay, so Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world and it is in Nepal. Okay, so many men and women, they have risked their life to climb these snow-covered mountains. Okay, snow-covered mountains, it is risk to climb these snow-covered mountains and many men and women have risked their life to climb these peaks. So, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953 were the first to climb the Mount Everest. Okay, so who were the first to climb the Mount Everest? Sir Edmund Hillary. Okay, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953, in the year 1953, were the first to climb the highest mountain peak, Mount Everest. Okay, so also an Indian woman, okay, an Indian woman named Bachendripal, okay, an Indian woman named Bachendripal also climbed the Mount Everest in the year 1984. Okay, children, so they were the persons who climbed the Mount Everest. Okay, so Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, they were the first to climb the Mount Everest in 1953 and Bachendripal, an Indian woman, okay, she was an Indian woman who climbed the Mount Everest in 1984. Okay, so like the Himalayan mountain range, we have another mountain range called as Karakoram range. Okay, Karakoram range. So this was the another mountain range called Karakoram range and K2 or Austin, K2 or Godwin Austen. K2 or Godwin Austen is the highest peak of Karakoram range. Okay, like Himalayan range, we have another range also called Karakoram range, and K2 or Godwin Austen is the highest peak of this range. Okay, so Mount Everest is the highest peak of Himalayan range. Likewise, we have another range called as Karakoram range. So K2 or Godwin Austen is the highest peak of Karakoram range. Okay, so next the Himalaya has three parallel mountain ranges. Okay, so the Himalaya has the three parallel mountain ranges. Okay, so these three parallel mountain ranges, you can see 1, 2, 3. Like this, the Himalaya has three parallel mountain ranges. The first is Himachal or Great Himalaya. Okay, so the first one is, so this is the first one in the north. It is called as the Himachal or Greater Himalaya. And the second one here, the second one, it is Himadri or Middle Himalaya. Sorry children, the first is Himadri. Okay, sorry, by mistake it is. The first is Himadri and the second is Himachal. Okay, so the first one, the first parallel range, it is called as Shivalik or outer Himalaya. Okay children. So the Himalaya has three parallel ranges. The 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the Himalaya has three parallel ranges. The first one is Himadri. Okay, so the first parallel range is Himadri or Great Himalaya. And the second one is Himachal. Himachal or Middle Himalaya. And the third one is Shivalik or Outer Himalaya. So these are the three parallel ranges of Himalayas. Okay, you can find here the first one is Himadri, the second one is Himachal, and the third one is Shivalik. So these are the three parallel ranges of Himalayas. So now we will learn one by one about this Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik. Okay, so now we will learn one by one in detail about these three parallel ranges. Okay. Okay, as I told you before, these Himalayas have three parallel ranges. One is Himadri, the second is Himachal, and the third one is Shivalik. Okay, so glaciers originate from these mountains. So what do you mean by glaciers? It is nothing but it is a big piece of ice or snow which slowly keeps moving down to a warmer region. Okay, glaciers originate from these mountains. Okay, glaciers originate from these mountains. So glacier is a big piece of ice or snow which slowly keeps moving down. Okay, so this is the big piece which slowly keeps moving down. Okay, moving down to the warmer regions. Excuse me. It keeps rolling down to the warmer region. So when it reaches the warmer region, what happens? This ice will melt. Okay, this ice will melt into water and the rivers are formed. Okay, so it is the originates. Okay, like this river. So Ganga and Yamuna. Okay, Ganga and Yamuna originate from these glaciers. Okay, so glaciers, it is a big piece of ice or snow which slowly keeps moving down. Okay, keeps moving down to warmer region. When it reaches the warmer region, these ice or snow are melts and it forms water. So like this, Ganga, Yamuna rivers are formed. Okay, it gets originates. Okay, so Ganga and Yamuna originates from these glaciers. Okay, and Kanchenjunga and Nanda Devi are the two highest peaks of these mountain ranges. Okay, Kanchenjunga and Nanda Devi are the highest peaks of these mountain ranges. Okay children, so now we'll move on to Himadri or Great Himalaya. Okay, so the first parallel range of Himalayas is Himadri or Great Himalaya. Okay, so it is the first one and it dominates a large section. Can you see here? It dominates the large section of Himalaya. Okay, Himadri is the northmost range. Okay, so it is the first one. Is it first parallel range? So Himadri is the northmost range and it extends for about 2,500 kilometers. Okay, its total length is 2,500 kilometers. Okay, the total length of Himadri is 2,500 kilometer. Okay, the total length is 2500 kilometer and its width is 150 and 400 kilometer. So it is from starting from here it starts, and when it is coming to the east part it's less. Okay, so it is 150 and 400 kilometer wide, and it forms a natural boundary between China and India. Okay, so this Himadri forms a natural boundary between China and India. And next it is most peaks in the Himadri remains permanently covered with snow throughout the year. So most peaks in the Himadri range, it is always covered with snow. Okay, because it is at the north tip, is it? So here all the peaks, most of the peaks is covered with snow throughout the year. And so this is a colder region, so we cannot find any animals or much plants here, because so some of the plants, okay, some of the trees such as fir, spruce and shrubs and some wildflowers grown in lower region of the Himadri. Okay, so as it is at the north tip, here it is very cold and all the peaks are covered with snow throughout the year. Also only some of the trees are grown at the foothills of the peaks. Okay, and it is fir, spruce, okay, fir, spruce, shrubs and some wildflowers grown in the lower regions of the Himadri. Okay, so only some trees are grown in this region like fir, spruce, some wildflowers are grown in the lower region of the Himadri, and it is very difficult for the people and animals to live in this region because it is very cold in this region. Okay, so it is very difficult for the people and animals to live in this region since it is very cold throughout the year. Okay, so all the year, throughout the year it is very cold, so it is very difficult for the people and animals to live in this region. Okay, and at some places huge mass of ice, glaciers, move down to mountain slopes. When the glaciers, as I told you before, the glaciers means it is a huge piece of ice or snow, so they roll down to the warmer region. Okay, so once they reach the warmer region, they melt and create waters. Okay, so these are glaciers roll down to the warmer region and they melt and create waters. So several rivers such as Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, Indus and Satluj originate from Himadri. The river Ganga starts from the glacier Gangotri. Okay, so as the glaciers rolls down from the mountains and it reaches the warmer region. When it reaches the warmer region, the ice melts and creates water. So Himadri is the origin of many rivers, okay, such as Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, Indus and Satluj. Okay, so these are the rivers which originates from Himadri. And the river Ganga starts from the glacier Gangotri. So Gangotri, Ganga originates from Gangotri. So Ganga river starts from the glacier Gangotri. Okay children, so this was about Himadri or Great Himalaya. So once again I will repeat this. The Himalaya is, okay, the Himalaya has three parallel mountain ranges. Okay, the Himalaya has three parallel mountain ranges. The first one is Himadri or Great Himalaya. Okay, so the first parallel range we call it as Himadri or Great Himalaya, and the second one is the second parallel range, it is called as are a big piece of snow or ice which keeps rolling down. Okay, moves down to the warmer region. So when they reaches the warmer region, they melt and create rivers. Okay, so first we will talk about the Himadri or Great Himalaya. So Himadri is the longest. Okay, Himadri is the longest and continuous mountain range. Himadri is the longest and continuous mountain range. It dominates a large section of the Himalayas. You can see it is the big one, is it? From here to here it is. So it dominates the large section of the Himalayas, and its length is 2,500 kilometer. Okay, the length of Himadri is 2,500 kilometer, and its width is 150 and 400 kilometer. Okay, the width is 150 and 400 kilometer, and this Himadri mountain range forms as a natural boundary between China and India. Okay, so this forms as a natural boundary between China and India. So as this is at the northern tip, most of the peaks in Himadri is covered with snow throughout the year. Okay, most of the peaks in Himadri range is covered with snow throughout the year. So as this place is very cold, not much trees are grown in this region. But some of the trees which are grown in this Himadri region are fir, spruce, some wildflowers are grown at the lower regions. Okay, and it is very difficult for the people and animals to live in this region because it is very cold, as the peaks are always covered with snow throughout the year. Okay, and at some places, the glaciers rolls down to a warmer region and it melts and create rivers. So some of the rivers which originate from Himadri are Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, Indus and Satluj are some of the rivers which originates from Himadri. Okay, these rivers originates from Himadri. River Ganga starts from the glacier called Gangotri. Okay children, so this was about Himadri or Great Himalaya. Okay, so here is the time to end the session. In the next session, we will continue